Have you ever published a book and waited for 2, 3, or even 4 months without a single sale? Or perhaps you're eager to become a self-published KDP author but don't know where to begin? If you said yes to either of these, then keep watching because this video is tailored just for you. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Mary, a UX designer and self-published author. I kicked off my KDP journey in March 2023 and have managed to sell over 6,800 paperback copies within 6 months, all within a highly competitive kids niche. I've decided to kick off a 3-part KDP tutorial for beginners to address most of the comments that I've been receiving recently, and this 3-part series will cover KDP keyword research to find winning keywords, content and cover design, and launching and marketing your KDP books. Today, I'll be focusing on keyword research and I'll be sharing my step-by-step process using free tools. But before we start, let's briefly discuss keywords to establish a foundation and understand their importance. What is a keyword? Amazon KDP keywords are like special words or phrases that authors pick to help people find their books on Amazon. Think of them as the secret codes that make your book show up when someone looks for it. These keywords are super important because they help Amazon figure out what your book is about and where it should go on the virtual bookshelves. They are the reason your book gets noticed. The better and more fitting your keywords are, the more likely it is that your book will pop up when the right person is searching for it. And guess what? The books that show up at the top of the list when people search have the best chance of being bought. That's why choosing the right keywords is a big deal. Now remember, being relevant is super important, but there are a couple of other things to consider. Your keywords should be phrases that real people actually type when they are searching for books. Plus, they should be the kind of keywords that make your book show up in front of people who are ready to buy it. Now enough talking and let's jump into the main business of the day. I discover winning keywords through a 3-step process and I will guide you through each step. Now the steps are 1. Finding keywords, 2. Validating keywords, 3. Prioritizing those keywords. I normally use BookBeam, but this entire process will rely solely on free tools so you can follow along without any cost. Before we begin, we'll install the Amazon Suggestion Expander and the DS Amazon Quick View, and I'll show you how we'll be using them in just a minute. Now go to your Chrome web store and search for Amazon Suggestion Expander and click Add to Chrome. Do the same for DS Amazon Quick View. Now let's get into step 1, which is finding keywords. So how exactly do I find keywords? There are 2 ways I do this. The first way is through Amazon Auto Suggestions, and the second way is through Amazon's bestsellers list. For the first method, I'm going to go to Amazon.com and click on all categories on the search box. I would suggest that you start with Amazon.com because it's the biggest target market. However, if your book is in a different language or has a specific audience, feel free to use the appropriate Amazon site. I search for words under all categories on the search box because this is potentially what customers will do when they are searching for anything. I also normally start by typing a broad term that I'm interested in, followed by a letter, and then I see what comes up in the search results. Example, if you want to sell books, you can type in books for A or books for B. Now, if you have a specific target in mind, for instance, adults or kids or seniors, women, anything, you can type in books for adults and then followed by an A, or books for adults followed by B. Or you can type in books for kids followed by A and so on. Now in this case, I will type books for kids followed by A. Next, I look at what Amazon autofills it with. That could be a potential keyword in demand because they're autofilling when I type the words into the search bar. The Amazon Suggestion Expander will give you more keywords before and after you search them. These are the keywords highlighted in green and red. Now there are a few options here like books for kids ages 6 to 8 or books for kids ages 3 to 5. There's even books for kids about heaven or about parent separation. There's grooved writing books for kids and so on. So there are a lot of choices. So there are a lot of keywords that you can actually pick. Next, you can niche it down further by picking one of the auto-suggested options and applying the same filter. For example, books for kids ages 4 to 8 followed by A or B, C, or D. Here I can see the dinosaur books for kids ages 4 to 8. There's also a dot-to-dot books for kids ages 4 to 8, a dot marker books for kids, a drawing books for kids ages 4 to 8. I really like this how to draw for kids 4 to 8, so I'm going to add that in my spreadsheet as well. Now these auto suggestions are what people are really clicking on to find books, so I'm going to enter them all into my spreadsheet. I keep entering keywords followed by a letter, then I enter the suggestions into my spreadsheet for later analysis to identify the best ones. I disregard competition at this stage because I believe it doesn't play a significant role. Most profitable keywords already have a lot of competition, so my strategy focuses on ensuring that my books are unique and of high quality. And I'm going to tell you a little secret later on that will change your entire view about search results. So keep watching. Now in the second method, I look up Amazon's bestsellers lists. You can just enter Amazon's bestsellers list on Google and click on the results. Similar to my first method, I use Amazon.com for my research. Next, I want to go to the books category and click into any of the top level niches relating to my idea. Now in this case, I will be looking at the children's book category. So guys, I don't look for keywords here because top level niches are for high level books with top rankings and reviews, or maybe books published by well-known authors or even celebrities. I go like 3 or 4 levels deeper. For instance, I'm going to go to the children's book category and I'll click on the humor section and then on jokes and riddles. So guys, I prefer searching for keywords here because you can discover books with few or no reviews, or even fairly new books making their way onto the bestsellers list. And this is definitely a good sign that I can compete with a keyword. Now let's check out another category. Now let's go back to the children's book and I'll click on activity, crafts and games, and then activity books, and I'll select this category cut and assemble. Now I look for 2 things here. Firstly, newly published books with few reviews of 150 or less and a BSR of 50,000 or less. Second, I seek out keywords that have appeared multiple times on the list, which suggests that the keyword might be in demand. Remember the DS Amazon Quick View tool we installed? Well, we can view more information about a book by just hovering over it, and then we can find the publisher's name, the BSR of the book, ratings, and the number of reviews. And if you don't already know, an Amazon's bestsellers rank is a metric that indicates how a product is selling in the Amazon store compared to other products listed in the same category. Now, a low BSR means more sales, while a high BSR means less sales. Now, this book on scissor skills is quite new, with only a few reviews, and by judging by its bestsellers rank, it's already achieving a daily sales range of 16 to 20 a day. Also, I've noticed that this keyword is recurring in books with solid BSR, suggesting a high demand. So it's definitely one to keep an eye on, so I'm definitely going to add this to my spreadsheet. Cut and paste is also another keyword to watch, so I am going to add this to my spreadsheet as well. Now let's click on the dot-to-dot category and see if we can find some more keywords. This Connect the Dot book is fairly new and is already making over 20 sales a day, judging by its BSR. Seasonal books are also great, guys, so they're normally in demand during the season and they sell really well. For instance, if you look at these Halloween activity books, they're really selling well and they're good to consider for the upcoming Halloween period. So guys, so far I've found 3 keywords that I'll be interested in. So I'm going to add them all to my spreadsheet. Now I'll do this for all the subcategories and find as many keywords as I can. Then I'll enter all the keywords on my spreadsheet for further analysis later on. Moving on to step 2, validating keywords to ensure their sales potential. Now I consider 2 criteria when validating keywords. Number 1, ranking criteria. I ask myself, are there recently published books with 150 or fewer reviews on the first page? This criteria implies that there's still an opportunity for a new book with limited reviews to rank on the first page. And first page ranking means more sales. Number 2, selling criteria. Are there 3 or 4 books using this exact keyword with a bestseller rank of 50k or less, and 1 to 2 of them have fewer than 150 reviews on the first page? Now this suggests that the keyword might be in high demand and experiencing strong sales. So let's pick a keyword and validate it. Now I'll enter how to draw books for kids ages 4 to 8, and let's go through our criteria to see if this keyword will pass it. Number 1, are there recently published books with 150 or fewer reviews on the first page? Now, if I go through, yes, I can find a few new books with fewer than 150 reviews on the first page, like this one, and also this one as well. Now, in this criteria, we don't need to worry about BSRs just yet. It's simply a check to see if my new book can rank on the first page for this keyword. Now, keep in mind that buyers won't be as concerned with BSRs as we are. They'll simply purchase books they find on the first page. So this criteria helps determine if my book can rank on the first page despite low reviews or a high BSR. Number 2, are there 3 or 4 books using the exact keyword with a bestsellers rank of 50k or less, and 1 to 2 of them have fewer than 150 reviews on the first page? Yes, there are tons of books with BSRs of 50,000 or less, with a few being new with 150 or less reviews. Now, this book with less than 150 reviews meets the criteria. This one also meets the criteria. This one also meets the criteria, and this one as well. It has less than 150 reviews. So we found 4 books with a BSR of 50k or less, and out of those, 2 books have less than 150 reviews, all on the first page. So this keyword has definitely passed my second test, so I'll go ahead and update my spreadsheet. Now, conducting keyword research manually can be a challenging process, but it becomes highly rewarding when done correctly. I understand the difficulties it can present, which is why I'll share 5 profitable evergreen KDP niches that have the potential to generate immediate income. You will find a link in the description below, so please check it out if you're interested. Now to the next step, which is step 3. This step is just to help me prioritize the books I've selected in the first 2 steps. Now, the criteria for this step is, are there 10k or fewer search results? The ideal scenario is 4k or less, but that's not a major concern. Now, let me share a little trick with you. Not all books within the search results truly match our keyword. For example, take a look at page 1 for dot-to-dot books for kids aged 4 to 8. You will find puzzle books, activity books, and even some unrelated keywords appearing in the search results. Now, page 2 is no exception, with different books showing up in the search results. This is why I don't give too much weight to the search result number. I just use this criteria for prioritization, because the truth is, you might overlook some valuable keywords just because you think they have 10,000 competitors, when in reality, the search results are filled with entirely different books and even physical items. So once I have my keywords and prioritize them, the next step is to ensure I create high quality content and good looking covers, which I'll cover in the part 2 of this series. Now, there are some key points I would like you to note. When any of your books are selling well, focus on that keyword and make other contents around it. Secondly, establish yourself as an authority for that keyword. Develop your author profile and produce top quality content for all your books. This will foster trust among your target customers and reduce ad expenses, because most of the people seeing your ads will recognize your brand and you will likely receive fewer irrelevant clicks. Thirdly, develop your brand. Create a website, establish a presence on social media platforms, and expand your brand. Now, this comes in at a later point when you have established a presence on Amazon. Now, that's all for today, guys, and I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please like it and share with your friends or family. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the part 2 of this series. And until then, I'll see you in my next video.